What's up guys, and welcome to Xbox Ready, the YouTube channel that is all about Xbox. This is a very special upload because as you can see, I'm in downtown LA at the Novo Theater. I just got through watching the Xbox Game Showcase, followed by Starfield Direct. And I gotta say, I was very pleased, and all the things that were on my checklist personally were fulfilled. We got an amazing look at some upcoming first-party games, followed by a deep dive into Starfield, and man, I am so excited. And yes, while games were the star of this show, we even had hardware announcements as well. They revealed a beefier version of the Series S, a Series S Plus, if you will. It now comes in black and has a full terabyte of storage. This is a really great move on Xbox's part because it's still in that price point that we love. It's only $50 more than a regular Series S, so it's still priced in that value console range, but you don't have to worry about filling up your storage super quick. And at $350, it's still cheaper than if you were to buy it separately, a Series S plus an expandable storage card like the Seagate one or the upcoming Western Digital one to make it that full terabyte of storage. A couple of months ago, I was really excited because a white Series S was appearing in some commercials, and I thought that was so clean. The white Series X, not a thing, but a black Series S, carbon black, that looks super clean. This new look Series S, this beefy Series S, is available for pre-order right now, and it's shipping early September, just in time for Starfield. So all my Series S owners out there, or if you're interested in getting a Series S and you want to pick up Starfield at the same time, you don't have to worry about all of your storage being eaten up by this awesome RPG. As far as the games go, I was super pleased. I walked into today thinking, okay, if this show was only showing me Avowed and Fable, I would walk away a happy man. And that got checked off pretty early on into the show. We got our first look at the Fable reboot being headed by Playground Games. And while we didn't see any gameplay, I personally felt like the spirit of Fable was present. Especially, you know, they had to throw in the kick in the chicken. That was classic. I went crazy for that. I've been looking forward to Avowed for a long time. I've played through Pillars of Eternity 1, and I'm halfway through the second game. And as I've mentioned on the channel before, Avowed is set in the same universe as those games. So finally getting to see it in action was awesome. I love Obsidian Studios. I feel like they're the most slept on dudes in Xbox Game Studios. They only make bangers, man. Outer Worlds, Pentiment, Grounded, and you can go ahead and add Avowed to those instant classics. It did end up looking a lot like the Outer Worlds, especially the environment. I loved the spell animations. I loved the kind of ragdoll physics. They kind of reminded me of Skyrim, especially with like the gravity spells and stuff. I'm looking forward immensely to 2024 when Avowed is supposed to be launching. And it turns out that 2024 is going to be an awesome year for Xbox. Not only are we getting Avowed, but we're also getting Hellblade II during that time. We're getting a new flight simulator in 2024. 2024 is shaping up to be our year, ladies and gentlemen. We also got a few surprises thrown into that showcase as well. Was not expecting to see the new projects from In Exile and Compulsion. Clockwork Revolution looks really cool. While again, we didn't see gameplay for South of Midnight, I really enjoy that style. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Arcane, kind of like Into the Spider-Verse. Really looking forward to seeing more from those games. And it was also surprising to see that Atlas has such a strong presence again this year at the showcase. They showed off the remake of Persona 3, and also a new IP from the creators of P3, 4, and 5. We finally got a release date for Forza Motorsport as well, which I know is very exciting for a lot of you out there, but y'all know me at this point. Unfortunately, I'm not really a racing game guy. I'm not really the car guy. But it was awesome to finally see a release date tied to that game, especially after Developer Direct back in January when we were just kind of like, what's going on? All these other games have dates. Hi-Fi Rush released. What's going on with Motorsport? Motorsport's going to be releasing October 10th, 10/10, 10 out of 10. Is that some sort of prophecy on like how the game's gonna review, a perfect 10 out of 10? I don't know, but it could be really cool. But the star of today is obviously Starfield. We got a 45-minute look into this game, and I gotta say, it got me really excited for it. I wanted more after the show was done. It's kind of interesting because some of the smaller details were what was grabbing my attention the most during Starfield Direct. There was a moment at the beginning of the show where your ship is pulling into a planet, and then you're stopped by what I assume are like customs people or whatever, and they scan the ship for contraband. I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting for anyone who wants to run like an outlaw or pirate build. I was interested in what would happen if they scanned your ship and they did find some contraband or stolen goods or smuggled goods. We got a really awesome look at the character creation, the backgrounds and the traits that you can put into your character. They had some traditional backgrounds that we've come to expect from RPGs. The background that most interested me, and I wish I had got a picture of it, but I wasn't quick enough, was if you looked towards the bottom of the list, there was a background called Ronin. And I was like, I want to hear more about this Ronin background, like this guy who travels and drifts from place to place, helping people out. We did see the return of the adoring fan from Oblivion make his way somehow into Starfield. He comes as part of a trait that you can unlock in the game. And I thought it was hilarious, that moment where they were like, if you don't like the adoring fan, you can get rid of him. And then it slowly has the camera of you backing up with your shotgun, and then it cuts out. That was a great moment. The shipbuilding in this looks really awesome. I loved how they leaned into, hey, you can make a really goofy looking ship if you want to. You can make a ship that it makes no sense that this thing could fly. I can't wait to see the creativity of the community once this game comes out, seeing everyone's different ship builds. A big question for me going into Starfield Direct was how they were going to handle procedurally generated worlds. And I think it's going to turn out good. They were talking about how it's going to be a mix of procedurally generated worlds, plus some handcrafted ones like New Atlantis, and the base of the Freestar Collective. That looked really awesome. And then we finally got an official word on these Starfield controllers and headsets that have been floating around on the internet. It sucks that they couldn't keep a lid on it, but the controller looks super clean. Now that we've seen a lot of gameplay from Starfield, you can clearly see the references to your ship on the controller itself. And this thing that they're doing with the clear triggers is really cool. The headset looks really nice as well. And we also saw our first look at the collector's edition of this game. They're giving out watches, man, and the watch actually looks really clean. Plus, the watch comes in like this really nice case. I gotta get me one of these, but I'm afraid that those things are going to just sell out instantly. So I feel like Xbox is in a really great place to end 2023 from a position of strength. Starfield coming out in September, followed up not too long after that by Motorsport. And in between then, we have some really awesome day one additions to Game Pass like Lies of P. And then going into 2024, again, we have Avowed, a new flight simulator, and a whole load of stuff. They did hold a conference after the game show for the media. We got some really awesome insights from the leadership at Xbox, but we also got a pretty juicy bit of information as well. Not like juicy like, oh my gosh, drama, but juicy like, okay, we're getting a sort of upgrade to PC Game Pass. Sarah Bond did confirm that PC Game Pass was going to be incorporating GeForce Now. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, GeForce Now is a cloud streaming service that lets you game with the power of an RTX. They didn't really go into specifics on when that was being incorporated and what it would look like, but my first impressions are like, okay, dope. This could be a great way to stream games that you own through your Steam library and through the Microsoft Store. Finally, a way to play cloud games that are not tied down to the Game Pass Ultimate library. Again, no specifics on when that incorporation is going to happen, but you know I'm going to be talking about it the second that they do it. Honestly, I'm pretty surprised we didn't hear anything about the Friends and Family plan for Game Pass. If you would have told me that they were going to announce a partnership between PC Game Pass and GeForce Now and not Friends and Family, I would have called you crazy before the show. But so much of what we saw is obviously coming to Game Pass day one. I feel like it would have been really cool to be like, oh, you want to play all these games on Game Pass? Go ahead and sign up for the Friends and Family plan, and you can play these games and a bunch of your friends and family. Anyways, guys, that's just a quick wrap up of what went down today at the Novo Theater. If you're interested on keeping up to date on any of the projects that were shown at the showcase or Starfield Direct, I'm going to be talking about this thing for weeks, possibly months. So I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe and check back in on all that. Thanks again so much to Team Xbox for inviting me out, and we'll see you in the next video.